Kenya is a democratic space and we fight to sustain it by all means necessary. The 2010 Constitution has also given us that space for us to build it and harness it. Today, on how to make Kenya great, I'm starting with Robert Alai to give us his side of the opinion on how to do it. Robert, starting now.
I think what we need to do to make the country great is first we have to moderate whatever we are doing. You know, everything good or bad we are consuming, ugali, rice, and so on, but also, you know, our politicking, you know, our activism and our distractions and our rioting and our protest. I have to moderate it. If you are going to demonstrate every month or now even every week as it is now, it is not going to make the country great. And also we have to look at the leaders, not because they supported or opposed a certain leader or a certain, you know, formation, but because of what they're going to do to make your life better. We had a 5-year period, and this 5-year period has been marred by constant protest and so on. It is not fair to this country. So for us to make the country great, we have to sit back, we have to give time, you know, delivery time, and we have to be very patient with the leadership we have. And if we don't do that, we are not going to make the country great. For me, and you know, the people in Kilaleshwa, where, you know, part of State House is in Kilaleshwa, you know, the Arboretum area and so on, I think we are asking for calm. And for our people in Kawangware, in Waruku, in Kangemi, it is only fair that we give the government a chance to make your life better. Otherwise, we are going to cry, and the next government which is going to get in place is going to even have it harder, because it is not very easy to have no time for development in this country.
Thank you very much. That is under 2 minutes. Thank you, Robert.
Asante.
All right, next is Daniel Omondi, who is the CEO of Global Peace Foundation, also giving us his side of the opinion. And camera one is yours. Daniel, starting right now.
To quote from President Bill Clinton, it's about the economy, stupid. You know, for us to make the country great, we must ensure that our politics, you know, leads, you know, to the growing of the economy. We must, you know, expand the economic space. We must create jobs for the young people, you know, but most importantly and fundamentally, we must ensure that we grow a nation that is grained in character. We must ensure that the Chapter 6 of our Constitution, we basically talking about leadership and integrity, is ingrained in our system. You know, we must ensure that leaders are leading, you know, by example and not just by what they're saying. So, you know, and then most importantly, we must encourage innovation. You know, what our athletes are doing, they're actually making our country great. So we must encourage our young people, you know, to you know, emulate our athletes who are making us proud there and make our country great. You know, we must get them into jobs, go into that business. We must enhance our spaces, our tax collection. You know, we must ensure that our economy is working well. I was in Zambia the other day, and in Tanzania, their airports are much better than ours, honestly. We must invest in better infrastructure. You know, I know Kenyans didn't want Adani, but let's get our airports, let's improve our airports. Let's for heaven's sake, let not some of the African countries overtake us. You know, so I want to encourage our president and the government, you know, let's reduce on the politicking, let's work for the people. And if you work for the people, whatever, you know, you don't even need to talk about another term. The people will give you another term. Just focus on the people, focus on the delivery, and let's ignore the naysayers.
All right. Thank you for that. All right. That is Daniel Omondi, who is the CEO of Global Peace Foundation Kenya, giving us his side of the story on how to make Kenya great. Up next is Deputy Governor of Mandera County, Daktari Maalim. How do we make Kenya great? Camera one is yours, starting now.
Thank you, Victor. Thank you for the opportunity. I think, to quote Nelson Mandela, one time said that if one of us is chained, and he was talking about freedom, if one of us is chained, all of us are chained. And if all of us are chained, I am also chained. And for us to be free physically and mentally, each one of us must be chain free. And I think that is how in Kenya, we need to begin to think about our country. We have had 3 monumental periods in this country of reforms. That was the independence, the Sabasaba of 1990, and the recent 2024 Gen Z protest. Each one of them represented a call for equity, a call for balance within our governance, and a call for fighting corruption and ethnicity. And each of these reforms presents an opportunity to the leadership and to the government. If I speak to the government, including myself, and here today I represent the county governments across the country because I'm the only deputy governor and of course representing governors here, is to tell governments, including His Excellency the President, that we must begin to listen to the protests, the peaceful protesters, what they are demanding for, and we must be responsive to those things because it is an opportunity for us to do better, to build trust amongst our communities and amongst our citizens in this country. And to the protesters, I say that for the last 60 years, Kenya has made so much stride, so much gain that cannot be gained in a very short time. So we have been building on one gain after another, despite the challenges and the issues that you are raising. As a result, we ask them to, as the government tries to respond, we ask them to be responsible, to ensure that they act within the limits of democratic space so that they are not destructive, so that all the kind of economic infrastructure and institutions that would have expanded and given them an opportunity for jobs are not destroyed just because we are feeling a lot of pressure in terms of economic stress. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, how did you perform? Robert, how do you... But then you know State House is his ward.
Institution.
You're a big man.
Oh, you have the president under you.
Yeah, I have the president, living in part of my ward. And,
State House...
It's very challenging.
This is ward. So how do you address your constituent?
Sometimes the president meets leaders from everywhere else, but they forgot to meet leaders from Nairobi.
Yes.
Like now he's going to meet from Mandera,
Yes.
he's met from Embu, Kisumu.
Absolutely.
I think that we'll have to sit. And also, you'll have to develop Dagoretti North.
Yeah.
You'll have to give special allocation to Dagoretti North.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we don't get enough allocation.
A quick question in 30 seconds. What have you achieved in the last time?
Are we on camera?
Yeah, I think we've gotten a lot of roads made, and in partnership with the Kura, we are also upgrading our ECD centers. We have one primary school, public primary school, Kilesha Primary.
Yes.
We have one public secondary school, Kenya High. Kenya High, we built for the girls some 17 toilets.
Nice one.
They had some challenges getting toilets in the and especially which support the school was built not to support the disabled. So I think for the first time we are encouraging the development which pays attention to mental health, the disabilities and so on, because even the students who are now able-bodied can get into an accident and might not be able to.
Your next course of plan? The next financial year? I
think the next financial year we'll continue to do more roads, but also we want to do a social hall.
Okay.
We also want to have, because the challenge is that the ward rep, the ward admin, and the chief and the sub-chief don't have office. So we have a space where we want to develop an office to ensure, in partnership with the national government, to ensure that, at least we have one administrative office block for, the government in the ward.
We'll be right back here again soon to ask you whether you've achieved that. Daniel, a quick one, Global Peace Foundation Kenya. What are you doing right now? What's your course of plan moving forward?
Okay, so as a Global Peace Foundation, and I was recently appointed to be in charge of Africa. I'm the African representative of Global Peace Foundation. As you know, we are a peace-building organization, and we have more than 25 chapters all over the world. And so in the Kenyan architectures, we have been working in the area of education to transform education. We are saying that education must enable us to be able to solve the problems of today.
Yeah.
For what we are saying is that how do we work with the educators today in the classroom. Right now in the classroom we have millions of young people who are spending more time with teachers than with parents. You get my point? So can we work with these teachers so that these teachers can positively influence these young people so that the year 2050, we'll be talking about a new civilization. So for us to be able to have a better 2050, the Gen Zs of those days, how will they be behaving? In 2050, the Gen Zs who are in the streets today and the people in the class today will be the president, they'll be the MCS, we will be too old or dead. So we have an opportunity to catch them today and influence them, instill in them good values, better values, good characters, so that we are able to ensure that 2050, between now and 2050, is going to be much better, a new civilization. So we here today as leaders, we are crafting, we are curating a new civilization between now and 2050. And so that's one of the things that we're doing, transforming education, environment. We are working with government, our patron is Dr. Manu Chandaria, planting trees to ensure that we meet that the national goal of having 15 billion trees by 2030. And other than that, we are talking about, of course, our politics. Right now, our politics is getting hot. Every year, as you know. Last time I was here was when we were doing the Kenya Daima. So every year, whenever we're going to our politics, we have to come back together and ensure that our politics it doesn't lead to our destruction. So we are entering that time again, where our politicians again become a risk to business, a risk to our national unity, a risk to progress. You get my point? So can we get our politics right? And we want to ensure that, again, early enough, we get civil societies working together with everybody so that, and also with IEBC, so that the 2027 election will be peaceful, will be free, democratic and fair, and so that we will not have another period of protest after the election 2027. So those are some of the things that we are looking forward to doing.
Your plate is so full, Daniel.
Yes.
So full. All right. DJ, a quick one. Mandela, what can we...
Well, the one that is very obvious is the free secondary education.
Perfect.
That we have introduced. We have over 35,000 beneficiaries of secondary students getting free education in Mandara County. And a lot of people have criticized that, but I don't see anything better to invest in than on our youth. And the same people that are protesting today, over that 5,000
How free is this?
Well, it is free. We pay completely because each student gets whatever the amount of the fees.
35,000 students?
Yes, 5,000 students. So we spend close to 700 million shillings only on school fees every single. And this is a small county. We get about 12 billion in terms of our equal share from the national government, not in regards to the OSR. But that is a big gain for us in terms of education. And why we are doing that is part of our response to the demands of the youth. Because once we give our kids the opportunity to have at least that basic education without stress, then that really helps. And what that did is that parents used to go out and sell, because we're livestock herders, or our mainstay is livestock. We used to sell livestock, animals like cows, goats, and ngamias. But now all of those are saved for the families. So which means now we are really contributing in a way to the economy of our communities. I mean, each student would have taken 3 or 4 goats per term. We save 10. Multiply that with whatever they produce. So you can imagine, and multiply that with the entire population of Mandera. So really, in a big way, we are putting money into the pockets of the Mandera people. Sometimes people, as usual, ask for LSOs, LPOs, and we give you the LSOs in the name of your students' fees.
Yes.
This is exactly what we tell them. In healthcare, we have done the same thing. We have done a major reform once we came in with His Excellency the Governor's guidance. And what we did is we have renovated and built over 100 primary healthcare facilities across the counties. We have upgraded all the sub-county hospitals to level 4, where now we have had a better, well-streamlined referral system across our healthcare system. The same thing with water, Department of Water. We have about 9 sub-counties. Each sub-county has gotten one major water infrastructure, close to above 100 million shillings each sub-county. And we have a lot of works in progress. We are looking at expanding these opportunities, especially with a focus on the youth and women going forward. So because we want to touch on very soft issues that these people are raising that touch on the economic part of it. But I also want to add, our focus generally is on the president and the national government. But I want to challenge also our colleagues at the county government to take up this challenge. The same challenges that our young men and women are protesting about, a large chunk of it can be actually resolved at the county level because we have bigger population outside Nairobi. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, I just love hearing stories from across the counties and the country. What is happening? Robert Alai, the gentleman representing the great people of Kileleshwa, where the president also resides as his constituents. As your voter, I think so. All right, thank you for coming. Daniel Omondi, with the CEO of Global Peace Foundation Kenya, and His Excellency Dr. Ali Mali Mohamud, who is the Deputy Governor of Mandera. Gentlemen, asante sana for coming. A quick update that we have is that if you can get an alternative route to town or whichever part of the city you want to go, Ngong Road has been blocked at the City Mortuary, Valley Road blocked at DOD, State House Road blocked at Integrity Center. We also have Uhuru Highway blocked at Haile Selassie Roundabout, Mombasa Road blocked at General Motors, Thika Road blocked at Roy Sambu Roundabout, and finally Waiyaki Way is blocked at Kangemi Flyover. So if you can get an alternative route to get to the CBD, please make sure, but be cooperative to the security agencies. All right, that's where we wrap it up. Thank you so much. My name is Victor Lo. Have a good morning. Bye-bye.